Janine. And what you have is the ability that the most powerful program is going to be the 7(a) loan program. It's a forgivable loan, meaning even if you laid off people, but if you kept your employees, this will pick up the cost of the payroll for your workers, as well as all your fixed costs, your rent, your utilities, those kind of fixed costs for businesses, small and medium sized, all the way up to 500 employees will be able to go to your local bank, not through the SBA, because we know this is going to be something millions of small businesses participate in. So we allow your local banks to be able to write these loans. So go talk to your local banker Monday morning if you haven't already, and there's going to be a loan that you'll be able to take out for your payroll costs and for your expenses, your fixed expenses, and that loan will be forgiven at the time that the first payment comes due. That's going to be critical to keeping a lot of small businesses alive. And then, of course, for large businesses over 500 employees, there's going to be a separate program. You've heard a lot about the airlines. They, of course, will be eligible for this. But any other business over 500 employees will be eligible as well. The goal is to help families get through this and to make sure we hold on to our businesses so there are jobs to come back to when we get through this crisis.
Okay, but Congressman, let's talk about the person who ends up going to the bank on Monday and says, I have 60 employees. How do you prove it? What paperwork do you bring with you? How is it that you're able to automatically get that loan? I mean, what kind of investigation is done?
Well, the Treasury Department is going to come up with a form in which Secretary Mnuchin said his office ultimately will administer this through SBA. But he wants a one-page form, something very straightforward. And by the way, Janine, your local banker is somebody probably who already knows your business well. I mean, that's why we wanted the community banks to be the ones administering it, because they've already got this information on your payroll, on maybe if you have other loans with the bank. That's going to be the quickest way to do it. We don't want this to be something that takes months. You don't have months right now. You might only have days before your next payments are due. We want to make sure nobody's in default. By the way, the banks, we also include language in this bill to allow the banks to give you forbearance for the next 60 to 90 days. This is something we did after Hurricane Katrina, where there was no cash flow for a lot of these businesses, and the banks were able to say, look, we're going to push your payments back 90 days at the end of the note, so for the next 90 days you don't have to make your payments so that you can stay afloat. The banks don't want to foreclose on all these businesses, and they don't have any cash flow. So all of these things were included in the bill. Again, this is something President Trump was very focused on so that we have an economy to come back to as we get through this crisis.
And you know, Congressman, I don't know if we've ever done anything like this before. It's a tremendous amount of money, $2.2 trillion. But is there a possibility if this coronavirus, continues to spread and the curve, isn't flattened sooner rather than later, that there could be another stimulus bill that we might need?
Well, there's been some talk of that, but right now, this bill, there was a lot of work that went into it from everybody. I mean, you saw